Not bad. Needs a little work, but not bad.
Well, like I said, I made that like it only took me 5 minutes. I was just goofing around, okay, on this
That's
site that I
fine.
found.
Oh my goodness.
But
You just take things too personal, man.
whatever.
Chill out.
Welcome to the Insane Asylum. It's Friday night.
And we're all insane, as you can see.
Yeah, the straight jackets are still on back order. You know, I don't know what to tell you there. So our guest tonight is, don't ask me to pronounce that name, Nick Carboni.
Carboni.
You got it right, Carboni. Yeah.
Carboni.
Old World Paranormal Society and podcast.
Well, the thing is, Nick, he should get it right. He's freaking Italian. Or he keeps claiming that he's Italian. I think he's not. I think he's
oh, whatever. You know, screw you.
Hey,
so,
I'm German.
So you're from Indiana. How many are in your crew?
We have 7. 7 on the crew.
Oh, that's a big crew.
Yeah. Yippers.
So, Mark, I thought you were going to take this.
Oh,
over.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sure.
Right on. So, Nick, how long ago did you get into this, and what got your interest into the paranormal and got you started?
Yeah, well, we started with the idea in 2016, put everything together in 2017, and pretty much put a group together to do residential cases, help people living and unalive. I guess everybody has a unique story. I don't think mine's too unique. I've seen spirits my whole life, especially when I was younger. And it wasn't a taboo thing for my family to talk about this stuff. My sister, was a Wiccan. I mean, she was into that stuff. She has gifts. My mom loves it. She has gifts. My grandmother. The TV shows came out. We watched them faithfully. We thought it was the coolest shit ever to see people actually ghost hunting on TV and, getting evidence of it, which, we knew the shit was real. But, I'll be honest with you, I had no interest, even watching those TV shows. Like, I had no interest in getting into this. It wasn't until 2016 I had went through a pretty nasty divorce, and I was renovating my house, like sleeping on my couch for the first year and a half after that, just renovating the house. And it was just me and my kids when they were coming over. And we had always had activity in the house. That was nothing like out of the ordinary. I mean, we've seen shadow figures in the house. We've had, I've had dreams. My brother-in-law was pulled out of a bed. So, it was haunted. We know it was haunted. But it escalated tremendously in my house to the point where I was getting attacked. We were hearing disembodied screams in the house. I was having vivid dreams of the spirits. One of the dreams, a little girl was, literally threw me down the stairs. So it escalated pretty good to, to the point I was like, I need to do something about this. And so, like I said, my sister had gifts and she dabbled in stuff. So I called her. I knew she'd be able to find somebody that knew something about this shit that could help. And, had a shaman come in, and he blew my mind. And what he did was eye-opening and completely changed my life, because at that point I looked at my sister and was like, hey, we need to start a team. And that's where the idea came. And like I said, when we started the team, we just wanted to pay it forward and help people like I was helped. And that's still the motto today, even though we've done a lot of things in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah, cool. So, your activity that when it ramped up, was that or did that happen before or after you started the renovations?
After. I mean, it ramped up after,
Okay.
and it turned to find out it was the original owner of the house. He had died in the upstairs bedroom, and he had been here, did some nasty stuff in life, and was afraid to cross over. The whole hell aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't like what I was doing in his house, and
Most don't.
he was going to let me know, and he did.
Yep. That's usually
I'm glad he did, because I wouldn't be here where I am today. So
right. That's usually what happens when you start doing renovations of an old house like that.
yep.
If there's activity and it's just light activity, once the renovations start, a lot of times it will happen where they'll ramp up and things will start getting worse. So yeah,
especially if the person died in the home as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Most likely
we have little things here because he died in the bedroom and stuff, and there was furniture and stuff left behind and stuff, but we get these occasional every now and then things happen, because we're talking about selling the place, and probably, if we had to, we'd have to totally demolish it down to the frame and start over.
Right.
And when we start talking like that, shit like the Google and the Alexa things start going off when nobody's in the room to set them off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we just chalk it up to it's just Bernie, screwing with us because he doesn't like to talk that we're talking or something,
Yep. So Nick, how old is your house?
It was built in 68.
So it was in 1968.
56 years old.
So it's not that old.
56 years old. No, that's not that old.
Uh,
I'm older than his house.
The area where I'm at is the spiritual energy around here is there's a lot of it. Let's just say that. And I mean, I had my house cleared 3 times.
Wow.
And now it's just, I understand it. I understand the spiritual side quite well, and it doesn't bother us too much. We'll get some nasty ones every once in a while, and I'll give them the boot. And other than that, it's a daily thing to live in a haunted house.
Hey, my house was built in 1900, and I've got activity here. We moved in the last part of April, early May in 22 when I bought the house, and within the first 3 months, I had scratching on the interior wall where you could hear like an animal scratching on the wall. Nothing in the walls, and you could tell the difference. If it would have been inside the wall, it would have been a different sound than what it was. I had got woken up by a man's voice coming from the bathroom. I got woken up by a woman's figure standing in my doorway, and she darted. And when she darted, there's really no place for her to go and disappear into. And I got up fast enough to look to see what it was that, you couldn't. There's no way she would have got away from me.
And in his house, there's only him, his girlfriend, and his dog. And his dog is not capable of moving very fast because it's an old dog.
No, she
got small legs.
And we've got at the top of our stairs. The stairs go up to a little landing and then up. I can smell. I don't know if you've ever smelled it. It's that old flowery perfume that Avon used to produce.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Yeah.
We get that smell at the top of the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And then
like grandma. Smells like.
Yep, smells like an old grandma. And what was that, Joe?
And I said, Lisa, don't wear perfume.
No, she doesn't. Well, she does, but not stuff like that.
And not that often.
No, and not that often. And then I've
but you did some renovation too there, so you might have stirred up something because you tore out that wall and put in that sliding glass door in the kitchen.
Yep. when I moved in, beautiful house. I mean, it's got knotty pine in the kitchen
Small
and the dining
town.
room, but it's not. It didn't have an exit in the back going to the deck. You had to literally go through the kitchen, down 3 stairs, and out the door, and then up around the house. So what did I do? I had a sliding door put in.
Right. I mean, it only makes sense. Only makes sense.
Right. So that kind of
Well, you
kicked some of
disrupted
the
the house.
activity up. A little bit. Yeah, I did disrupt the
The
house. A little.
the originality of the house. You disrupted it.
So yeah, I get where things can happen like that with renovations and old homes and stuff. But you also have, depending on where you live, you also have the land will also retain energies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you have history like that around there?
Oh yeah, I mean a lot of Native American history here. The part of Fort Wayne, I mean Fort Wayne is a pretty big city. We got about 320,000 people live in the city area. Maybe
I passed through the edge of it.
But the northern end, I mean, a lot of history of Amish farmland, Native American.
Mm-hmm.
When the guy cleared my house, there was 4 spirits in my house. There was a family of almost 20 Amish in the backyard, plus like some other stragglers, and so yeah, I mean, it's nothing new. I mean, my better half, she's a medium. She's got a plethora of spirits always following her around. We have a few haunted objects here
I know how that
in the
is.
office, and I'm just getting ready for this. We were sitting down on the couch. I got home, and we were just discussing the day and business stuff, and we can literally hear the lamp come on in the bedroom upstairs. So both cats, the dog sleeping on the couch. Like, okay, well,
Is it one of those touch lamps, or do you actually have to turn a switch?
it's a touch lamp, but you'll hear it click when it comes on.
Right.
So,
well, yeah, I know how those do sound. I was just wondering if it was one of the touch or if it was a click.
That'd have been a lot cooler if it was an old one where you have to pull the string.
Yeah.
Now,
or one that you have that little paddle you got to turn.
Right, because that'll take a little bit more energy than just going.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, come on, Spirit. Step up your game.
I mean, those touch lamps are like setting
They're
off
like a REM
REM
pod.
pods. Yeah, exactly.
They're like a REM
you
pod.
were on my brainwave there. Yeah, just like a REM pod. The proximity, you get, some physically touching them things or touching the antenna of the REM pod, and they go off.
Yep. The only difference is the REM pods are proximity, and the touch lamps you actually have to have contact on it.
Yep.
So,
but still, to have those things go off out of the blue, that's kind of freaky.
It's not.
But I haven't had one of those lamps in forever either.
I don't find it freaky. I like it. It's pretty damn cool. See, I don't get scared. I don't get.
Well, I don't get scared either.
I'm jaded. I'm jaded from all this stuff because I've been involved in the paranormal and the metaphysical since I was like 13, 14 years old. So, my mom always had the ability to see things. I actually have the ability. I can see auras.
Okay.
And I can feel when energies are around me, and I can know if they're bad energies or good energies or anything like that. So, so do you have any of those like Alexa or
we
Google's
don't have a Siri or Alexa. I don't want.
So you don't do the smartphone or the smart house type of thing?
No. No. Hey,
if you had one, you might have them talking to you a couple of times.
Yeah, well, probably the thing wouldn't shut up. That's why.
Yeah, I got them originally because I'm a computer person. I've been around computers long before the internet, and I just curious to see which one was better, and I'm not done yet with my whole little experiment. but these things are stupid as fuck. I'll tell you that.
Well, they're attached to the internet.
Right.
They can be set. You can set them how you want them to be.
Yeah, but when you ask them a question, if you don't word it just right, they'll give you some answer that doesn't even totally relate to what you're looking for.
Yeah, I've
You
experienced
know,
Well, maybe it's picking up the other conversation in the room.
who knows?
that. Could very well be.
I
So,
mean,
what is your I want to phrase this right. Your rate on picking up activity when you go and do your when you go and do investigations. How often do you actually get activity, or is there times that you don't get activity?
You know, we're both kind of beacons of light, so we get activity. I mean, some nights are a lot better, but you know, for the most part, now residential cases are a little different, you know, um,
They always
because
are.
those are just they're really difficult. I mean, because those are not some places where you know they frequent talking to people like us. You know, they're either running havoc in a house and they don't want to talk to us because you know they see the outcome in it. So I mean, it gets a little different on the residentials, but we've been really blessed, um, investigating wise of getting results.
yeah, some
Cool.
of those residentials, though, you got to be careful of the people that are just in search of their little 15 minutes of fame.
I've had those. I've had
Mhm.
cases where, I mean, the last one, the guy flipped out and his little nasty attachment came through, and guy came at us with a hammer. Then it was a wine bottle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then he went to get his gun. So I had to haul everybody out of the house and across the street and call 911. So
Wow.
I've dealt with some shit.
yeah, see, I don't like doing too many of those. We've done like 3 of them so far, and actually, Mark only done 2,
I was only along with two.
right?
The first one, and second one.
And you really gotta also at the same time be a good judge of character,
Hmm.
because some of these people can really pull the wool over your eyes and say that there's something there, or they're having experiences and they're just want attention,
Yeah.
or see them on a YouTube video. But we don't put our the private home investigations
Unless
unless they ask us or give us permission to. We don't ask for permission. We just keep that stuff private in a private folder. But that was just the one we did, the one private investigation, and that's up in 3-4 parts on YouTube. But that's because they asked us to do that.
yeah, they gave us permission to post it. We actually did their home up north of where we're at, and it was very interesting.
Yeah. Well,
We've got
something
one
going on
video.
there.
Well, we got one video where I've got the camera sitting in the attic, and you know those counterweights, those long counterweights.
Mhm.
They're made out of that. Oh, what is that? The same stuff that
It's like
it's a metal. It's that steel or whatever,
it's real heavy.
but it's really brittle. Like if you hit it, it'll break easy.
Lead,
But it's
maybe.
heavy. No, it's not lead. Um. Anyway, I had everything set up because there's this box that was up there, and I had the camera sitting on it, and I had it all plugged in, and I let it run, and the entire time that thing was swinging back and forth.
Mhm.
And there's a couple of times in the video where it looks like it's going to slow down, and then it starts picking up again.
Wow, that's cool.
So it's that's the kind of experiences that we had in that day, and then we caught what looked like orbs in you know in the basement area, and I felt an energy in this one little area that was kind of a confined area, and Joe was using a EMF meter, and the side that had the electrical wires on,
Right.
he wasn't getting any readings. The side that didn't have the electrical wires on it, he was getting readings, and we couldn't figure out why it was peaking on. And the one side it was peaking, there was no electrical wires. On the other side, we weren't getting anything, and there was the electrical wires.
Oh, that's interesting.
So,
Sure. Yeah.
so I mean, so do you ever get stuff like that happen with you, or is there a certain kind? Yeah,
The attic.
there's that. Yeah, cast iron. That's what I was trying to think of. Cast iron. Knew I'd remember it. But
And it never stopped moving. And
yeah, it
that,
never stopped moving. There's no wind up there or anything like that.
and that video's like over an hour long. Or just under an hour. 59 minutes.
All right, Joe. We ain't gonna sit here and watch it. So take it down. So, I mean, what kind of equipment do you usually use? And do you ever get kind of weird experiences like that as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. I, I mean, we've done over 50 residential cases. I've been all over the place. I co-founded the Bell Mansion in Fort Wayne.
Cool.
So I this is something like I've seen it. I've been physically touched. I've been mentally affected. My mental state, like my attitude. I've been physically attacked multiple times. Ohio State Reformatory. We were there. It felt like I got jumped by 5 spirits.
Wow.
Walking down the third tier on the west cell block. But I don't get too excited anymore, but I'm like, whoa, that's cool. Like, I mean, literally, like a full body apparition can just walk in the room, and I mean, I'd be like, whoa, holy shit. I wouldn't. It's just different. Like, you've been doing it for so long. Like you guys,
You're
you're
starting
just
to get
like,
jaded.
oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, you're starting to get jaded to it.
Yeah.
To where everything's becoming more of a routine for you in it rather than something that rarely happens.
Plus, seeing them a lot when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
so that doesn't really, shock me anymore. But yeah, I mean, kind of equipment. I've got a lot of equipment, but a lot of it just collects dust. On our podcast, we ask a few specific questions at the end that we ask every guest, and one of them is, if you had one night, one investigation, you're only allowed 3 items to investigate with. What are you going to use? And me, it's my phone, because if it was down to it, I could take video, I could take photos, I could take audio. If I wanted to break out a ghost app, though I'm not like a huge fan of them, it's on your phone. But I have what's called a direct link. It's made by J.W. Prather and Austin Maynard. I like that, and I'd probably always take a REM pod. I like a REM pod, but yeah. I mean,
I like that question. I might actually steal it from you.
yeah, absolutely. It's a good question because it makes people think.
Well, yeah.
Well, but that question has one fault in it.
What's that?
Because you see, some people say stuff like, what's your favorite piece of equipment? And, I've noticed a lot of people that we've interviewed over the past, I don't know what, 5 years now we've been doing this with the
Something like that.
podcast part of it,
That's cool.
that they always answer themselves, right? That they are their favorite piece of equipment to take on an investigation. So when you ask that question, that's automatically included. See,
Right.
Well, that's another thing too. Occasionally, I'll bring
so
up with groups. I'll be like, "So, what
it's
is
a
what
good
would
question,
you
but
consider?" So, one of the questions too with groups would be like, well, "What would you consider as the best piece of equipment to have with you?" And a lot of times,
Uh, a really good audio recorder.
they would say themselves
no,
Yes,
because
that is
that's
true.
you
That
know,
is true.
that is true. But see, then with Nick, I would argue with that. I'd say a cell phone because you can do the video, the audio recording,
no, I
and
agree
take
with what Nick
pictures,
said. He said his phone.
right?
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
just if you told me only one, you know, I want to hear their voice. I want to be able to have a conversation with them. So
right,
A really good audio recorder.
these things, yeah, and these things right here, these phones, they have all of it on her.
yep.
You've got a flashlight on here. You've got cameras on here that takes pictures and
Yeah,
video, and you have the option of putting a voice recorder on these.
and if you got Wi-Fi, you can download an app for and like he said, we haven't ever used those
You
apps.
don't need a Wi-Fi. You don't need Wi-Fi for that.
No,
As
but to
long as you
download
have
them to
data,
begin with,
as long as you have a data connection and you're connected
whatever.
4G, 5G, whatever, that's
Yeah,
your
well,
Wi-Fi right there.
Right.
you know, I'm still locked in the ancient times. I'm better off with a Gibbs phone. You know, I
The
don't like them damn
GIMP
things.
phone,
It's like having a computer in my pocket.
better off with a GIMP phone, you said?
A Gib phone, the flip one, the ones that flip.
Sorry. Him and I have been friends for well over 20 years. I get to pick on him every
I
now
mean,
and then.
ever since I got this smartphone, I'm surprised it hasn't gone off as much as it usually goes off. But because I'm part of Things Network and all of this, and that's attached to our show page, my cell phone is. Every time there's a notification or a message from anybody or in any of those group chats that I'm part of, that thing goes off nuts all day long.
Yeah.
I get notifications on my phone. It's like, damn, it could just be quiet one day.
So Nick, what was your favorite place to go?
Yeah, I want to know.
My favorite place to go, obviously the Bell Mansion in Fort Wayne. Getting the opportunity to be the first team to investigate there, and then bring
Oh,
other
wow.
people there, and then having the opportunity to take this beautiful mansion that was extremely haunted, and open it to the public. I mean, you can guys can still go there today; it's still open.
That might have to be one of those places when we go on our trip in late July, early August.
Yep, we'll have to look into that one.
But now, I'm entwined with so many different people that have. I'm good friends with the Stop Properties, Austin Mater, Underground Digital Paranormal Network, Blue Collar. So Broadhead Manor in Wisconsin. Bill's dear friend of mine. So I get the opportunity to frequent flyer and places and stuff like that. But we do travel all over the country. We go to a lot of conventions. So when we're out there, we try to find new
Well,
places.
next time you're out in Wisconsin, hit us up.
And like
Definitely.
two of
So,
my other favorites are in New York, Hinsdale and Wildwood. Brooke and their people that run Wildwood are amazing. Daniel Klaus with Hinsdale. Love those places. So I'm blessed. I get to frequent.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. So, you got any places that you haven't been you want to go to?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the West Coast. I went out there one time to Laughlin, and we got to travel around and do some things and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But we got some California trips that we're going to be planning here soon, and some other places in Kansas. And I don't know. I always say my next one. That's going to be my favorite. The next one.
Any particular place in Cali you're looking?
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
He
Obviously,
brought California up.
Obviously, you got to go to the Winchester House, and you got to go to Alcatraz and Queen Mary.
Everybody does Winchester House, but yeah, I agree. I get you.
And me, it's more. Even if I went to the Winchester House and I got no activity, I could give two. I wouldn't care. I'd say I've been there.
I want to go to
touch
Alcatraz.
But we're working on a project right now, so we're looking at some stuff out there.
I'd like to go to Alcatraz if I ever get out that way.
Who wouldn't want to go to Alcatraz?
Right.
Well, he shouldn't want to. We'd have to leave him there in one of the cells.
Oh, screw you. You probably got to go to the coast and see it just from that point of view.
I was on Fisherman's Wharf. I was on Fisherman's Wharf, and you can see it from Fisherman's Wharf.
See?
Oh.
During the time that
he's a California transplant.
They actually had Alcatraz closed to the public for quite a while, and then they just recently reopened it, I guess. But they did have it closed to the public for a while.
And that Winchester mansion, that would just be a spectacle to see.
Well, I'll tell you, Hearst Castle is pretty interesting to see too.
But that woman, if I got the story right, she was the heiress to the Winchester, as in the rifle Winchester.
Yeah,
and there was like something like a curse or something put on the family, or she had to pay because of all the souls that those guns killed. And so she got told to keep building this mansion. So there was stairways going nowhere, doors going, just endless building until the day she died.
Yeah.
And I've heard so many stories about that place and watched all those documentaries on it. And it's like, man, I have got to check that out if I get out that way.
I'm right there with you. I want to go check it out.
I'll tell you though, the man that's saying go see San Fran just because it's a beautiful place, but a tragedy hit San Francisco in 1989, and ever since then, I would pretty much bet that there's been some activity there, because that earthquake, it was that earthquake that hit San Fran. It took the what was it, 280, that was the double deck highway.
Yep.
And made it collapse on itself, and then it took a section out of the Bay Bridge.
Yeah,
that was my 21st birthday. That was the exact day of my 21st birthday when that hit.
I might be able to top your 21st birthday.
Uh-oh.
That was October 17th, 1989.
My 21st birthday was September 11th, 2001.
Oh, you got to be shitting me.
Dead serious.
Wow.
Oh my God. That is insane.
That is insane.
Oh, wow. That is just crazy insane.
Bet nobody can beat that.
No, probably not.
Yeah, I'm like
I mean, that was such a tragedy. I remember that.
No, Amanda, I haven't. I just seen that Amanda asked if either of us have been to the Wally House in San Diego.
No, I haven't been out there.
No.
Never been to San Diego.
I've been to a couple places in Cali. We had a great, but where I lived at, I was 6 miles outside of a little town called Layton. And there's this park there called Kingston Park. And it is situated right next to the Kings River.
Mm-hmm.
That park has shadow people in it. and one of them is
Sure.
a white figure.
Mhm.
And we used to go in there 11 o'clock at night, stay until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, smoking, drinking, doing whatever, horsing around,
Getting
getting in
stupid.
trouble, getting in trouble, you know. And then when the water was in the river, we go swimming in the river. But I didn't swim because I can't swim. I don't know how to swim. My mom never let me learn how to swim. But my friends would swim. I would wade out to my ass, and that's about it. But
Right.
we'd always have a good time there. But it didn't matter, no matter what time of year it was when we went, and it was at night like that. We'd always see shadows, always see the shadow people.
Mhm.
And again, there's one of them that was solid white, and they'd always hide behind trees, and the trees weren't big enough to hide an entire body behind it, but they'd dart in behind the trees and peek out from behind them. It was a little freaky, but I found it to be really cool because that's the kind of stuff that I knew about.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing to be able to witness that once, but multiple times. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and it never failed. Every time we'd go, I mean, everybody would pretty much stay in their own group. Stay together as a group because we really didn't want to deal with anything happening to anyone.
Oops.
Right.
But yeah, it was a really cool experience to have, and stuff like that's part of why I'm jaded to all this stuff. I've never had that flight response. How about
Right.
you? I'll ask you that. Have you ever had? Do you have the flight or the fight response?
Oh, definitely now fight. Um, you know, little kid, definitely flight. um, but no, I'm pretty. I'm prepared for whatever.
It's
So
good.
but I when you after your first attack, you're like, yeah, whatever. This ain't nothing. So you just learn to
I've
deal with it.
Yeah, I've been touched. I have, but I've never really had any like attacks to where like major physical like scratches or cuts or anything like that.
Right.
But I have had spirits literally brush by me or reach over and touch me on the shoulder, on the arm. I actually had one touch me on the back, like almost center back of my back, and push and it pushed. So I felt the pressure of of the push, but nothing hard enough to really try and knock me
Right.
over or anything. So
We always call that ghost love. It's just ghost love.
I'm kind of like you're saying that your other half is a sensitive, right? A medium.
Yeah, she's actually on the chat. Bree Hollingshead. She's my better half.
Oh, cool.
So
And you say she's got a lot of spirits that follow her.
yes. Well, I mean, she's a full blown medium. I mean, so they're attracted to her. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a 24/7 gig for her. So,
That is
but
pretty cool. Yeah, I've got about 300 of them that follow me around.
people, I'm not shocked. I mean, people just don't understand that. You know, I don't know how to explain this.
It
People, the spiritual side. They're stuck here. I mean, I can get on. That's a whole other rabbit hole
Yeah, I
of
know.
a podcast of trying to
I know.
explain all that. But if you're stuck
A
here,
lot of them are a lot of them are here because they feel they have unfinished business and they don't know how to finish it.
yeah, that or it took them a while to understand that they're dead. They missed their first opportunity to cross over, and they just need a
Hmm.
little help. But a lot of people have attachments, and a lot of these attachments affect people on a daily basis more than people understand.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And early on, I did find, especially, I'm old enough now, so where I'm like 55. So when I started all this stuff, it was back in the 80s. So it was it was hard back then to actually talk to anybody about this because of the fact that it was something that was frowned upon.
Oh,
Society
absolutely.
society didn't want to accept that there are the possibilities of spirits and that people are able to see them and talk with them and commune and everything else. And now it's a lot easier because
Well,
it's well more accepted in society.
it's becoming more and more. Everything in the paranormal realm is becoming more and more acceptable than it was like in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. I mean, you got the government, the so-called releasing of their UFO files and so on and so forth every now and then, and now that everybody has got more technology in their pocket, you're getting people out there. Oh, they're willing to I got a UFO. Check this out. You're getting a lot more of that. More people are seeing Bigfoot. Um, there's a lot more sightings of everything. It's just
Yeah, pretty
it's
much.
becoming more acceptable. I mean, somebody asked me, well, see, because I'm disabled, I don't work. So somebody asked me what I do. I said, well, I'm a paranormal investigator with a podcast, and they're like, cool. And then they start talking to me, like asking me, oh, have you been to this place yet? Have you been there? You know, and we've investigated like what this will be the fourth year we've gone out that we'll be looking into the Beast of Bray Road.
I don't know, Nick. Have you ever heard of that one?
No, I haven't.
It's like the Michigan Dog Man, if you've heard of that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's a similarity to it. So going into that, Joe mentioned UFOs and the cryptids, and that's all part of the paranormal as well. Do you do anything in that realm of it, or do you stay strictly or specifically within the spirit realms?
No, the way I view things, extraterrestrials to spirit beings, I mean, if you really think about it, you dive down to it, spirits that we think are spirits are actually extraterrestrials.
Maybe.
You're no longer human. You are an energy form. But yeah, I dabble in the UFO stuff, the cryptid stuff. I do believe I think cryptids are interdimensional beings or categorized as something elemental made from nature.
I've
Um,
heard that. I've heard that a few times.
Yeah, there are theories about especially Bigfoot being interdimensional.
yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, the guy, greatest hide and seek champion of all time. You know,
Yep, there you
and,
go.
and
Wife's got
even
a shirt that says that.
and
Hey,
Yeah,
even in
Nick,
today's time in 2024, with all the technology that we have available, to drones, to
yeah,
everything else,
hmm
I would still think we'd be able to catch this guy better in a pixelated picture. So
right.
yeah. I think the best video out there is the Patterson film,
yeah,
and it's it's been
the doll,
authenticated. I mean,
the doll's name is Penelope.
There you go. Yeah, that Patterson film is also held up to
a
a
lot of
shit
scrutiny.
ton of scrutiny. You know, so yeah, I think it's one of the most believable footages I've ever seen.
See, and what intrigues me most about that Patterson film is the fact that you can see the muscle moving under the hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back then in that time frame, they didn't have the latex type suits like we have now.
Well,
Skin
still,
tight.
the Planet of the Apes back in 1960. Television series, television movies made for TV movies in 1960, Planet of the Apes. That was Hollywood at its finest. And you could so tell how fake those costumes were back then. You know, and even today in the Planet of the Apes, I mean, but that's hard to tell because a lot of that can be CGI and stuff now.
Most of it is. CGI is so far advanced. It's crazy.
So they don't have to make those costumes as well as they had to back then. And to make something like that just for a hoax would probably cost them the equivalent of millions of dollars today.
Right.
You know.
Excuse me.
So Janet's even agreeing there. So, all right. Here.
No, it was
We'll
impossible.
let him.
Whoops.
Damn it, Joe. We're gonna let Nick answer Amanda's.
Oh, I didn't see she had
question.
another question.
I don't know much about Penelope. That's actually Bree's doll. Oh, there you go. She bought it from a friend. Bree just answered that. Yeah, we got two new ones in the office. The other one is the nun that's standing up behind me on the shelf. We're learning more about her. But I've had people where they can't handle objects, so they'll give them to me and I'll deal with it. So, but yeah, we got that one, and there's Scott.
Where did you get the nun?
The nun came actually from another investigating team. So she was moving and she needed somewhere for her to go, and so we bought her off her, and she'll be here hanging out.
What's the story behind her?
The nun?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a Brie question. I have to say the two new ones I don't know much about, but if you look, you'll see a bear with a black hat. That's a 14-year-old boy named Scott. And then on the second shelf, there is a black obelisk about this tall, and her name is Lily. She's 4 years old. Lily's here. She's probably the one that turned the lamp on earlier. And then I've got a couple nasty ones, but they're kind of held to where they're at. But we have like pieces of locations like Wildwood and Hinsdale, Old Hospital, Missouri State Penitentiary, lots of places. Rose Hall in Jamaica. I've got a stone from there.
Wow.
So yeah, lots of energy in here.
No, I think it's really cool. I do. So
to me, it's fascinating why they would leave some type of energy of that person behind, attached to something. Some of the stories we're able to get are quite unique, but the spirits here with these objects, I've told them, I said, look, I'll keep your item here. You're free to go, do whatever you want. It's safe type of thing. The Slimer, where's that? Yeah,
your Slimer.
I bought that or my cousin bought that for me at a convention. So somebody made that. I don't know who it was. But
no, we're sitting here and during this entire time, my attention kept drawing to that doll, to the nun.
To the nun?
Yeah.
Oh, I can go grab her. Hold
on. There's something about her. I don't know what it is.
Here she is.
I heard it too. She doesn't look that old.
No, she's fairly newer. And I tell you what, I do not like porcelain dolls. I don't like dolls to begin with. I just don't. They creep me out.
I don't blame you.
I have a figurine that I was given. And it's kind of funny because the woman that gave it to me inherited it from another woman who helped her with her raptors at her raptor rescue here in Wisconsin. And I was delivering some product to her. And I came in that day, and she comes out of the building and she goes, "I'm glad it's you today." And I go, "Really? Why is that?" She goes, "I got something I was told I have to give to you." Oh, okay. Well, let me finish up here and we'll talk about it.
Right.
Well, what it was is the woman had a lot of these figurines and like resins and porcelains and stuff like that. And she had left them to this other woman that was the caretaker of the rescue raptor or raptor rescue. I can't even say it right. And so when I got done, she had me follow her to the back room where we're standing, and she walks up to this table she's got sitting there, filled with all these figurines. And she said to me, she said, "I was told I have to have you pick something from this table. And it's for you." Well, there was this figurine that is about this tall. About yeah, tall. Okay. It's a Native American woman, but it's an angel.
Oh, wow.
And she's got an owl on her shoulder or on her somewhere. And that is the piece that I was drawn to. And one of the reasons is my mother was obsessed with Native American and she was obsessed with angels.
That's awesome.
Now,
that's awesome, brother.
How about that for a coincidence that piece would be sitting there?
Right.
And that I would be told that I have to pick a piece off of that table.
I mean, it's meant to be. It's meant to be for sure.
Yeah. So that's why when I seen that your nun, I was kind of, it's like there's something about that nun that's drawing my attention. So. Anyway,
it's cool. I'm extremely fascinated with religion. I dive into a lot of religion things, and of course, it ties into the paranormal. And so yeah, I like little nun things. I've got huge the actual nun from the movie Conjuring and all that. I got a huge painting done by Pam Gear. She's Dave Gear from Paranormal Quest's mom. She's also the infamous West Virginia State shadow figure in the doorway. Pam's the one that actually took that picture.
Cool.
But yeah, I like that stuff. So just still not a fan of dolls. Still not a fan.
I get a kick out of dolls. With some people, there are some people out there that just literally freak out when they see dolls.
Yeah.
And I've known a couple of people that are that way.
Yeah, they're just some of these are just too lifelike. I don't know. But
I've seen a few like that. Yeah.
Especially the older ones, the real porcelain ones.
No, give me the ones that are like, the figurines or the dolls like Chucky.
There you go. Yeah.
Or Pinhead from Hellraiser. We go on and on with the horror films. But no, not the ones that look like real people, and some of them look way too real. They creep me out too.
No, I don't have a problem with it. They don't. I've said this many a time too. The Annabelle doll.
Yeah.
I would give her a hug.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
She needs one. She needs a hug. I would not be afraid to give her a hug.
She just needs a little love, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And about a week later, I'd be visiting your grave.
I doubt it.
Hey, he's drinking the same thing I'm drinking.
Oh, what a Mountain Dew.
Yeah, Joe.
Go ahead.
Joe bleeds Mountain Dew.
Well, Mountain Dew's good, man. I could drink it warm and I could drink it cold.
I've been drinking Mountain Dew since 1974, 75.
There's nothing wrong with Mountain Dew. I like Mountain Dew. In fact, that is my drink of choice.
I won't drink any other soda.
I can't handle the sugars of it.
I won't drink any other soda. If a place doesn't have, Pepsi products, then I end up drinking hot chocolate or something. If you're at a restaurant and they got like Coke products, I won't drink anything Coke products. Maybe root beer, because root beer is root beer, but some taste better than others.
I
But
agree.
my preference and the only thing you'll find in my fridge is Mountain Dew. And I'm kind of pissed off at Pepsi right now. I feel they should be delivering this shit to me for free because I've been looking all over. Oh, try our product locator. Nope, nope, nope. They bring out this real sugar Mountain Dew that tastes like the stuff from way back in the 70s. And now I can't find it anywhere.
Huh.
It was only available in 12 packs, but I could find it everywhere. Walmart, Pick and Save, Quick Trip.
And now he can't find it anywhere.
And I say, oh, I write them to their website, and they're like, respond, oh, check our product locator. So I checked their product locator 3 fucking times. They say this store is in stock. So we go there. Nope, not there.
Damn.
And then my wife finds out a couple of days ago that they decided to
Discontinue it. So they keep the real sugar Pepsi, but discontinue the real sugar Mountain Dew.
Yeah, that pisses me off. They don't make any. I like that. I like the Mountain Dew. It's my favorite product. Livewire. I like Livewire. It's one of the flavors that they did that I actually like. But the only way I can drink that is in a slushy format. In a slush, like a slushy. You kind of got to deep freeze it a bit. But they can't seem to do anything right. They should discontinue some of these god awful flavors and I've tried every one of them. And I think Code Red is the worst.
Code Red is the worst. Now, I like Livewire. Livewire is great.
The Livewire, all they did was enhance the orange juice that was already in Mountain Dew. So it was like Livewire is like Mountain Dew on steroids, and orange juice being the steroid. But nope, man, they get rid of the real sugar, and it's like, yep, screw you people. You should get rid of some of them god awful flavors that shouldn't even have become a flavor of Mountain Dew.
Right.
No, that's the end of my rant for Pepsi.
Yeah, whatever.
Right on.
I've been drinking it so long they should send me a leather Mountain Dew jacket
There you
for
go.
being such a loyal customer. I probably hold a Guinness Book of World Record if I would have kept track of how much I've drank since the 1970s.
Here's the thing. I had Pepsi bucks for every soda drink. Where like Camel used to have for the cigarettes. Joe would have had enough built up by now. He could have bought one of the Pepsi distributors.
Yep.
You should have just bought stock back then.
No shit. I'd have known I was going to get that hooked. I mean, you should have heard me. I got so hooked on Mountain Dew that I was hanging by a thread in the hospital. All right, from 1995 to about 97 or so. I was diagnosed with leukemia. So I had to go through all kinds of treatments, radiation, chemotherapy, bone marrow transplant, the whole works. But what it does is it totally destroys your mouth. The radiation does. And so when I started drinking Mountain Dew, the first day after that happened, it like burned because of all the carbonation in there.
Right. Yeah.
So I had to start drinking all those sodas that were more like an orange juice or grape juice for a while. And every day I was putting myself through that torture of trying to drink a Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
You know, I was like having a hell of a time. It's like, I don't drink coffee. I can't drink milk because I'm lactose intolerant because of all that shit. Because I used to love milk, but now that I'm extremely lactose tolerant, can't do that. So Mountain Dew is the only thing I've got a satisfaction for, and they got to take it away. Yeah.
Oh shit.
But, yeah,
We're already over, Jack.
are we? Well, let's see. You got anything interesting coming up that you're doing, Nick?
I'll be all over the convention circuit, so I'll be all over the place. And
Convention.
What convention is that?
we'll be in the Specters of the Spring next weekend. We've got, oh man, we've got, what else do we have? We have FCI, MadCon, ISSCon, Spirits of the Spring, Gettysburg Bash, Para Unity, Hope Paracon.
Wow, you really got a full schedule coming up.
So, yeah, a lot of speaking, a lot of shaking babies, kissing hands. So we'll be all over the place, of course, social media and the podcast, and yeah, you can find me just about anywhere you want.
And then let's see, we've got
I think that came through. Can you guys see that last post there?
what last post?
It says Things Network. I sent a post or set a post up here. I said something in the chat.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to make sure it went through. I don't know why it came through as Things Network.
Because you must.
You're okay. You're fine.
It worked either way.
I don't care as long as Amanda wants to ask me some questions. I guess later, so I give her my email. Just contact me through it.
Next Friday we have Misfit Apparitions joining us.
Sweet.
And then Thursday, check us out on Retro Review. It's always a fun.
Yeah, we do a retro review show on Thursdays. Talk about the stuff from like the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Oh, nice. That's fun. Oh yeah.
I have little quiz shows.
Yeah, we do little quiz things, through YouTube. It's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
There's a group of people we invite to that.
Oh yeah, guys.
So it's fun. And as far as anything else, I don't know what else is coming up. I'll let you know by following our social media. Well, I never know if I'm going to be on Fear Fans or not. It depends on what movie they're going to be talking about, if I've seen it or if I want to watch it. That's all about.
That's the way it goes.
It's all about horror movies. They did one about a video game, and it's like I never played the video game. I knew of it, but I never played it. And it's like, so I sat there and it's like, okay, I'll share out your feed and stuff, but I'm not going to be on there. So, it comes and goes. So,
All right.
have fun, stay safe, and remember, anything's possible.